It's December 2nd, cold and a little bit drizzly. We're getting stuff ready to start framing today.
So we're gonna get it close because we can always cut it later. I'll just run it over a little bit. So I'm just taking it, I'm lining it up. Hold this here. Hold it so it doesn't rock. You got it? Just kind of lining it up. Okay, you got it? Hold it. So you take this, get it. Okay, Kel, I got it. Now we're gonna take a hammer and go above the anchors and we're gonna hit it with this hammer.
That ain't a hammer. This is a hammer.
So it's just making a dent.
To mark where to cut it.
We'll drill a hole.
Drill a hole for the anchor.
And now it made those indentions. It's a 5/8 bolt. I got a 5/8 drill bit. I couldn't find my 3/4 spade. So I'm just setting this board underneath so I don't run into the concrete. Okay, we're gonna put down the sill plate, the 2x6 sill plate, because we're doing 2x6 walls. It's a 2-story house, so we're gonna be doing 2x6 walls. Because in Texas, everybody does 2x4 walls, and then you don't get your insulation value. So with 2x6 walls, it's a lot stronger, and you get your insulation value. And being a sill plate, it needs to be treated, pressure treated lumber, so that it won't rot out. Because concrete's essentially like a giant sponge. It absorbs water and it keeps water there. So we're gonna put sill seal down on the concrete, and then put the pressure treated 2x6 sill plate on top of that, and then bolt it with the anchors. There's a J bolts in the concrete. We wet set those when they pour the concrete. So then once the sill plate's down and we're ready to go, we'll put silicone on the outside to seal it all off, because Angela will drop a video here of what we found in the tarps. And it's pretty gross because you don't want those coming into your new house. And then caulk the outside with silicone.
Why so the scorpions start crawling?
Because those little critters.
So you killed a whole bunch on the tarps?
Probably about 100.
100?
They tuck up underneath. They're trying to get warm. They curl up in there.
It does want to come get me, doesn't it?
Just watch out for that one behind you. Look at these and this.
All curled up in there.
So we'll put the sill seal down, which is just a foam deal. So there, poke it over the bolt. Hold this on, or I'll
Get it on. Okay, watch your fingers.
Here. On. The washer and the nut. Washer and the nut. On. Put one on. Tighten it. This is what's going to keep the bolts anchored onto the house, or the walls. Okay, that's good. As soon as it starts going in there a little bit, nice and that. I see how it's. I can do up here, but it's on the line that we snapped.
Our chalk line.
So we're doing it 16 inches on center for the studs. So 16 is there, so I got hooked on the end here, and you got to allow for 3/4 on this side and 3/4 on this side. So that'd be 2x6s are 1.5 inches. So that's where it'll fall. So then when you put a 4x8 sheet of plywood, if you come down to the 8-foot mark right here, the 8-foot sheet will fall right in the middle of the stud. So it'll be there and there.
What's that face about?
I see you.
Was that zip board?
Yep.
And these are 2x4s?
No, those are 2x6s,
Oh.
2x10s, and there's 2x4s up there, I guess.
Oh, okay.
We're doing a double sill plate on the bottom on the east and west walls because the floor trusses are 18 inches, and in order to eliminate 2 of them on the end walls, I'm building this wall taller. So instead of having to buy longer trusses just for 1.5 inches, I'm just adding an extra sill plate on the bottom. So I'm just drilling these out with the 1.25 inch hole saw just so I can get around the anchors on this side.
X marks where the stud goes.
Mm-hmm. Some people put two lines,
Oh,
but I just do one.
okay.
Okay, so we're going to determine the height of the trusses for this end wall. We got 10-foot 2x4 or 2x6s for the studs, and we have 18-inch trusses, and we're going to have 9-foot walls. So 9 times 12 is 108, plus 18-inch trusses equals 126. And so I didn't want to buy 2x6 12s because we have plenty of 2x6 10s, and in order to be able to use those, I had to do a double bottom plate or sill plate just so I could get away from having to buy extra 2x6 12, so I don't want like throwing material away. So 126, so we're gonna have a double top plate and a double sill plate, and these 2x6s are 1.5 inches, so 3 inches on top, 3 inches on bottom, so 126 minus 6 inches, oops, 108 plus 18, oh shoot, 108 plus 18 is 126 minus 6 inches is 120, and 120 divided by 12 is 10 feet. It typically, all wood, almost always, is like a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch longer, so you just cut off the excess. So we're just going to cut off whatever it is to make it 10 foot. Then we'll have all these. So Angela's going to cut all those right now.
Yay.
So then the other walls, we're just going to do a single sill plate, and those are going to be 9 feet. So 9 times 12, 108 minus 4.5 inches for one sill plate and 2 top plates equals 103.5 inches. So that'll be the height of our studs on every other wall except the east and west walls will be 120 inches. So it's go time.
And I put my blade just to the right of the line. It'll be exactly 10 feet.
So we're using hot dip galvanized 3 1/4 inch ring shank for our nails. I always use, being for an interior of a house, you can use bright coat nails, but you just never want to take a chance of forgetting, and because if you use bright coat and then you nail into this treated, it'll eventually rust, and then obviously it would fall apart and it's not good. So I just spend a little bit extra money and just always have that in your gun just because. Anyway, so then you line up your stud on this side. And fire it in there. And always keep your hands away. So I'll get a nail or a hammer and drive that in a little bit more. I could turn up the pressure, but I don't like it when it insets too much, just enough. So this one here, I'll have to just hammer in a little bit. And then for the windows, I'm gonna put, I always try to keep this flush, the top here, keep the bottom in place where it needs to go. Keep this flush there.
You framed the first wall. This is our east side, this is our dining room, and over there the kitchen. And now we're gonna put zip board on before we stand it up, right Josh?
Sure.
Well, you tell me.
You are.
Okay, here we go.
We're leaving the walls flat on the foundation. Now we're gonna set the zip board, but before we do the zip board on there, we gotta check it for diagonal to make sure everything is square, because it's easier to check it for square when it's laying down versus when it's standing up. So Angela and Eli are gonna check.
Okay, hook it on there. Okay, now we're gonna check the other diagonal. Okay, now we're gonna do a chalk line for the zip board. Good job.
It's at 46.5 because we got to cover up the bottom of the very bottom sill plate. So now I'm just going to use the hot dip galvanized ring shank 2 3/8 to hold on the zip board. So whenever you put it down, these 8-foot sheets always fall right in the center. Then you can hook on towards the back, and then they'll fall 16 inches on center. Mark them, because if you don't, it's a 10-foot long stud, and it bows out. This is where it's supposed to be, that line, and it's supposed to be there. So then you just move your stud over until it fits that line, then when you stand it up, it'll be perfectly straight. That's it. So it's easier to put the zip tape on now because it's flat and you can roll down, but you put it on every seam, and then the zip roller has little Z's inside there, so that when those make the impression into the zip tape, then you know that you're pushing it hard enough. See the little Z's?
Clever. I do see the Z's. Make some Z's, and he doesn't mean sleep.
Push it hard.
You see any Z's yet?
So once the wall is up, we'll make sure that no nails blew through the other side, because if they do, back them out and do them right.
How do you really feel?
You want to know?
I think I know.
pin those anchors in there. We'll put the lift.
So you have these braces on this side holding the wall up. This is so exciting. Our first wall is up.
Next to the kitty cat. Or skitty kitty.
Skitty kitty. It's not even a skid steer, right? Track loader. I still call it skid steer. Clemmy, what do you see? Is that our first wall of our house? Yes?
Mom, I see one of...
Flip the whole thing over if you want, Sill.
We can go down already.
Okay, I don't really want to go up anymore. Can we down? Please?
This is where we're going to be walking.
This is the second floor.
Alright, let's get down now.
Just look.
Wow. You're gonna have to stand up here to build the second.
Wow. Look how tall we are with the shop.
Like we do.